Hey, avid Christian readers, this is Jaime Jo coming to you today in place of Trisha because she has life. Don't we all have life? We have life. So, I also have today our special guest, Kelly Goshorn, with us. Welcome, Kelly.
Hi, great to meet you, Jaime Jo.
It's good. Well, we've met just a little bit online
That's true.
before.
A little bit.
So,
Book club.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Book clubs are the best, by the way. Love book clubs, but yeah, it's exciting. I was really thrilled when Trisha asked if I could pinch hit for her, and so I get to chit chat with you. And I actually have your book, which is coming out in a few days, called "The Undercover Heiress of Brockton." So I'm really excited to talk about it. I think it's gonna be fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
But first, before we dig into the book, tell us a little bit about who you are, because this is not your first novel, correct?
Right. It's my fourth book.
Okay.
My second full-length novel, and I have 2 novella collections as well.
Okay.
So I've been writing since about 2012.
Okay.
And got my first contract in 2014, I think it was, or 2015. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been writing for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm a wife and a mom, and I'm kind of obsessed with corgis. If you follow me on social media, we have our third corgi now. I'm one at a time, but our third dog.
You're like me and cats. You just keep collecting them.
Collecting, yeah.
Yes.
And he's just 7 months old, so he's sleeping over here, and we'll just hope he stays quiet while we chat. But
it's okay. Most of us here at Avid Christian Readers are. I find there's a lot of animal lovers here.
Well, we do have a cat too, so I'm good with cat lovers too. We have an orange tabby that my puppy thinks is a puppy, so
yeah,
he's been going through it the last few weeks, but
no. Animals bring so much joy and pleasure and annoyance at times.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad Fu can join us.
Fu is here today. We'll see how long he stays and if he starts attacking me from behind. Sometimes he grabs my hair and my head jerks back, but oh, fun. So you write mostly historical, am I right saying historical romance?
Yeah, exactly.
This book has some suspense in it too, right?
Well, it has, I don't know if I would really label it as suspense, maybe as much as action.
Okay.
Because there isn't really, there's a little danger. I mean, there's in the book, but it's based on the true event that happened when the Grover Shoe Factory exploded. The boiler exploded. This was in 1905.
Oh, wow.
And so that's the kind of the danger element, the explosion and people rescuing people out of the building. And
I would say an explosion is adequate danger.
Okay.
I think you covered. I think you got the danger down. Covered. That's good.
Yeah.
Fun. Well, you know what? Let me just read the back cover copy because there's nothing worse than as an author than being asked, "What's your book about?" So we will just read the back cover copy and then we can talk more about it. How about that?
Okay, that sounds great.
Henrietta Etta Maxwell, heiress to the Maxwell fortune, is a hard-hitting investigative reporter for the Enterprise Daily. The catch? Etta must pen her columns under the nom de plume, Henry Mason, a fact that routinely puts a knot in her knickerbockers. There's a fun word. Leo Erickson is a second-generation firefighter with a passion for rendering aid to those in need. When Leo discovers that Henry Mason is really Henrietta Maxwell, the fire department's wealthy benefactress, he agrees to keep her identity secret. After a sudden blast rocks the Grover Shoe Factory, Leo and Etta team up to determine if the explosion is related to a series of suspicious fires in the area. But sparks fly when Leo accuses Etta of negating the human side of the disaster in her determination to get a good story. When an unnamed source reveals Etta's secret identity to a rival reporter, she falsely accuses Leo of being the informant. As the truth comes to light, Etta must persuade Leo to give her a second chance or lose the only man she ever loved. Dun, dun, dun! Oh, fun. Okay, well, let's start with the Grover Shoe Factory. Where is that located? And tell us a little bit about what on earth made a shoe factory explode.
So it's located in Brockton, Massachusetts,
Okay.
which the town, there was a, like over 60 shoe factories in
Yeah.
this area, so it
Okay.
became known as Shoe City.
Mm-hmm.
And the boiler in the factory exploded, and so it's like a 4-story factory. It occupies most of a city block.
Okay.
It's just huge. It's windows all around it. It's a very modern factory.
Okay.
And when they put in the 4th floor expansion, like a year or
Mm-hmm.
two earlier, they upgraded the boiler, brand new
Okay.
boiler. But on this particular day, it was offline. They were doing like regular maintenance on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so the old boiler was being used.
Oh.
And yeah, and too much pressure built up in there and it exploded.
Okay.
And what caught my attention to the story was seeing the pictures of this massive factory side by side with the picture of after the fire was put out. And
Oh.
it's completely gone. The only thing left is the smokestack, and some of the buildings
Wow.
on the other side of the street are gone. And
Wow.
I just thought, how did anyone survive that?
Yeah.
So then we start down the rabbit trail, and I'm reading about it,
Mm-hmm.
um, and amazingly, only 58 people died. And
I was going to ask, what was the casualty rate for that?
and the building was fully occupied. This happened like right as the workday started, so the
Wow.
building was full. There was like 367,
Okay.
I think, people in the building at the time.
Wow.
So that amazed me. And then
Mm-hmm.
I just started reading a little bit snippets, vignettes about the people that perished, the people that
Mm-hmm.
survived, and I was just drawn in. Like one woman, Dora Clark, it was her first day of work.
Oh.
She didn't survive. A man named Ray Cole was delivering water. His job, he worked for a company that delivered water to
Oh no.
businesses, and wrong time, wrong place, right? Just
Oh.
that situation. So I just found some of those stories fascinating of the priest from St. Margaret's across the street who raced in, and he went in several times and rescued people. I think he
Mm.
was 5 or 6 times, and he ended up with some burns, and then he couldn't go back in.
Yeah.
Just fascinating. And then the fire station, the Campello fire station, was right next door on the same block.
Oh wow. Okay.
So those fellas, raced in. They were the
Mm-hmm.
first ones there, and 12 minutes they had to fight the fire before they had to abandon rescue. I mean, they had to
Mm.
give up the rescue operation
Okay.
in 12 minutes
Okay.
to turn to the firefighting because the flames were burning so hot. It was just like one of those, perfect storms. So
Yeah, it sounds like
the,
it.
the boiler explodes, it knocks down the water tower that flattens the back of the building,
Wow.
and the fire is spreading quickly from the broken gas lines, and all the floors are being treated with linseed oil several times a
Oh
week to
no.
polish them, and that's really flammable. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just, the windows all exploded and the oxygen comes in, and like I said, they had about 12 minutes for people to get out
It's
of
just
the
like a
building.
burning inferno.
Yeah, it really was. And when you see the pictures, it looks like a bomb hit it and just exploded this
Yeah.
city block. So it just kind of captured my imagination. And
Yeah.
yeah.
How did you even run across that? Because I've never heard of this.
Right. So my publisher, Barber,
Okay.
had put out a call for stories. They wanted to do a series
Okay.
on man-made or natural disasters.
Okay. Yeah.
And they already did a series of 6 books that they put out that I think were all natural
Okay.
disasters. And so this series picks up with the man-made situations,
Mm-hmm.
disasters. And I literally was going through a list on Wikipedia. I Googled man-made
Okay.
disasters
Yeah.
and natural
Gotta start
disasters and got this
somewhere.
huge list of things that happened in America. And
Mm-hmm.
while the name isn't really exciting, the Grover Shoe Factory fire, like I said, when I saw that picture, it captured my imagination. And
Yeah. Yeah.
there we go
And there
down the
you
rabbit
go.
trail. And
And a story is born.
right. Exactly.
So we have Leo and Etta, who are your main characters, and Etta's a reporter. Um, there's a mention here of suspicious fires in the area. So is that
Mhm.
historical, or is that the fictionalized elements that we were able to tie in and add to make the story
Right.
plot work?
Right. That's my
Okay.
fictional idea as to how I could get the two of them teaming up
Mm-hmm.
and get them on the page together.
Okay.
So that's how she became a reporter, and how, with him being the firefighter, I knew right away I wanted him to be a firefighter, because I had read some stories of how the firefighters had battled the blaze and everything. And so I thought, well, this will get him intimately involved in this story. I didn't want either one of them to be survivors. I didn't want them to be in the building.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's how I chose that. And that allowed them to work through the story. And that comes back. We kind of resolve that a little bit later in the story, because once the factory explodes, then that sort of takes center stage through most of the novel.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. So tell us a little bit about Etta. How did you come up with her character, and did you find her to be super fun to write, or was she challenging to write, or?
I thought she was actually fun to write.
Okay.
And so Etta, I knew that I wanted her to be an heiress, but I have her sort of being like the new money heiress. So she grew up in Brockton. Mm-hmm. Her dad owned he started his own business selling business machines.
Okay.
And when he made his money, they kind of moved into Boston, but she wanted to move back here. Mm-hmm. So she runs a fund that she can give money out to people that need help. And so she felt like if she lived in Brockton, she could kind of see what the needs are and know the people. And it also kind of allows her to take on this job that her parents don't know about, that she's writing. As Henry Mason. She also has a job that she doesn't like, where she writes for the Gilded Gown as Henrietta Maxwell, and she goes to the teas and the garden parties, and she finds that all very dull.
She does the womanly thing.
Yeah, just to appease her mom. Her parents are pretty progressive, but that makes her mom happy that she goes to those things. So
she still does the tea parties.
Right. Well, at least she covers them for,
or tries.
Right.
So I'm going to guess that Etta is a little bit more adventurous and willing to go places that the average woman of that day would have been reticent to, correct?
Right. Yeah. So like in the opening scene, we have her she's climbing a maple tree dressed in her knickerbockers so that she can spy. She's gotten a tip that there's a meeting going on about related to these suspicious fires.
So when she does her investigative journaling, is that how I pronounce it? I think so. When she does that, does she go undercover, like dressed up as a guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's in her
doing that.
Yeah. And so then she has a fellow boarder who in the boarding house where she lives, that was a retired vaudeville actor.
Okay.
So he sets her up with a good costume and shows her how to put on her bushy eyebrows and mustache, and teaches her how to. I always think of that scene from the Titanic, walk like a man, spit like a man. Kind of teaches her, like, some mannerisms so that she isn't such a giveaway.
Yeah.
Right.
So then there's going to be a point then when she and Leo run into each other, and then apparently he's going to find out she's not.
Yeah, like she literally falls for him out of the tree.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's not really a spoiler. That's like right up front.
No, that's right up front. Yeah. And then he figures out who she is when her costume, she has a Janet Jackson style costume malfunction, but not
super fun.
Not
quite
not revealing.
Not quite as Janet Jackson.
Not quite so revealing. But
she has a Christian Janet Jackson.
There you go.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Exactly. Yeah. So he figures it out, because originally I had written it that he didn't know for a while. And my agent was like, no, I think he needs to know. We can't have any, because you can't really show any budding attraction if she's dressed like a man and he doesn't know who she is.
Yeah.
So it does make for some fun scenes when he, there's a line that I really like that something like the only thing stopping him from taking her in his arms and kissing her soundly was her bushy mustache.
Yeah, that'd be a
that's kind of fun, but you can't do that if you.
Oh no! Well, yeah, that would be a different genre and a different publishing industry.
So I'll have to say that was a good call on Cynthia's
I think that's a good call. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a book once where the wife had passed away, but they didn't know it at the time. And I was building the attraction between the husband and my heroine, and the people reading it were going, you kind of have to make it clear that the wife's already gone. Otherwise,
Yeah.
this is going into the wrong territory. I'm like, oh, good point. Because in my head, it all made sense. Like I knew the story, right? So,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
fun. So, okay. So Leo is a firefighter. How is firefighting different from today's fire?
Mm.
So 1904
Right.
firefighting, I'm assuming they didn't have
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a great
all
question.
the fun
And
stuff.
right. So they don't have any way for oxygen
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that. So they would take like the bandanas, kind of like what you're told if you're ever caught in a house fire, cover your mouth.
Right.
But they would dip them in water
Okay.
to help kind of provide more of a filter for
Mm-hmm.
them to breathe. And they did have some rubber, like they did have rubber boots and rubber coats,
Okay.
but none of the like chemically treated things that we have today. So it
Right.
sort of was a little bit of a barrier from heat,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not well treated. So they have to be obviously very careful that they don't get stuck
Right.
in burning buildings. And so one of the things that was fascinating to me was how they used dogs. Like, you'll see like maybe in a kid's book today, you'll see like, oh, the Dalmatian riding on the fire truck.
Right.
But
Right.
what was
Yeah.
that all about?
Yeah. That's a good
So
question.
I found a fun video about the history of firefighting.
Okay.
This guy was going through it, and they had drawings and things that they would put in. And they would use the dogs to position the horses. So the dogs would get the horses out of the stables in the fire station and get them into position.
Oh,
And then the
interesting.
firemen could pull the harnesses down with ropes and pulleys. So they'd pull them down and have the horses right in position, and they can attach the horses to the steamer wagons and the
Wow.
pump wagons that
Okay.
they're going to pull before they
Mm-hmm.
had mechanization. So we're kind of on that line of there's automobiles. They're
Yeah.
just starting to come out with some mechanized fire trucks,
Okay.
but in this story, they're pulling a pump wagon
Mm-hmm.
that's fueled by. It has its own little mini boiler, so the firemen have to feed it to keep the fire going, so
Wow.
that they can spray the water on the fire. So then I'm kind of jumping all around. I get
No,
all
you're
excited
fine.
about the
Yeah.
little nerdy history
No, this
bits.
is fun though. This is the stuff like we can talk about like what you book about, or we can learn the cool stuff. So keep going. This is good.
So then after the horses are all in position and the firemen are doing their thing with rigging the horses up, the fire dogs go out the bays and
Okay.
clear, like they bark and they clear the way. So they get the pedestrians out of the way and any wagons or whatever, so that they can come charging out of the firehouse and on their way to the scene. So
That's
I thought
crazy.
that was just fascinating. And I had written a whole nother couple, I think it was a couple chapters where they were fighting a different fire, because I wanted to
Okay.
kind of get into all the nerdy little history bits.
Yeah.
And then the book was too long, and so something had to go. But I did manage to pull the dogs in to when
Okay.
they're rolling out to go to the Grover factory fire. Because I thought that was so fascinating. So I wanted to include that a little bit.
Now, do you know why it's always a Dalmatian that seems to be associated? Like, did Dalmatians somehow have the edge on the jobs
I
department
don't
with
know.
dogs? Okay.
I don't know. Makes me want to go.
Now you want to kind of find out, right? Like,
I do.
like I'm not
I
sure
do.
this was equal hiring here when they came to dogs. What about the German Shepherds in the labs? I mean, they need jobs too.
Right. And it's also interesting to me because of some of the job that they do, like in terms of routing the dogs out of the stables. Like when I think of herding dogs, I think of border collies,
Yeah,
and even my little
exactly.
corgi, they're herding dogs. They herd cattle.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Blue heelers, Australian ranch
right.
dogs, which they probably
Yeah.
didn't have those in America at the time, but
Right.
it's really fascinating. All of the things, how life was so different
Mm-hmm.
back then, because of what they didn't have yet. And so I think it's fascinating because you don't usually read historical novels with firemen, because I think some of us are like, well, how did they even fight? Where'd the water come from?
Right.
Did they have fire hydrants?
They were starting to, not in Brockton, but
Okay.
in what I was learning is that big cities were starting to put in piping so that there would be there were
Okay.
places, points along the street where they would take off kind of like, I guess, a sewer cover.
Okay.
And they could access the piped water there, but they didn't have above ground fire hydrants yet. They did have water. Oh, I've just lost the word. The tanks, what's the word?
Water.
I just said it flattened the building when there's
water
the fell.
tower?
Thank you.
My brain even stopped there for a second. I'm like, it's round and it's on a metal frame.
Okay. I'm just going to claim that a month from today, I'm going to turn 60. So I'm just going to blame it on my age there.
Oh, do that. Own it.
There you go.
That's awesome. I love it.
Right out. But yeah, they did have water towers. So they were able to get some water pressure.
Okay.
Right. So they had that at the factory, but a lot of that's being used to power that steam boiler.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Right. Anyway. Okay.
Oh, I love it. I love that. Like your mind gets to a point where it's so full of this type of information and then it just stops working. And you're like, can you just download it on a flash drive?
And it is kind of fun to nerd out and talk about even some of the stuff that doesn't make it into the books because we always have so much more than we can include. Yeah.
I don't know if readers realize it, but when you're a writer and you're researching, especially for historical novels, you probably use maybe 10 or 15% of everything that you gather. Like if we actually included all the historical stuff, the nerdy stuff, the books would be like 10 times longer than they really are.
Right.
Yeah. Now, what about the faith thread in the book? Because I know that this is an inspirational fiction novel.
Right.
And it's a sweet romance. So people don't have to worry about anything questionable there. But tell us about the faith elements that are in the story.
Okay. So in this story, we have Etta, who's kind of has a reputation for being eccentric, right? She lives on her own, which is unusual for a woman.
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't know that she's this undercover reporter through most of the book, but she just has this reputation of being different. And so one of the things that I wanted to pull out was that, the way God made us to be, the interests that we have, the things that our heart longs for that make us unique and different, those are good things. Those are things to celebrate.
Yeah.
So sort of like accepting who you are, who God's made you to be, is part of the underlying theme. So there's a scene where she's doing something for the Gilded Gown. I think she's at a garden party, and she's around friends that she grew up with because when they moved to Beacon Hill in Boston, she grew up with society people, but because she's sort of, I don't really want to say shunned, but she's kind of doing her own thing, very unconventional.
Sure.
Like a lot of them don't want to really pay her a lot of attention and be seen with her. So she's kind of lonely because she feels a little unaccepted.
Sure.
And I think that's one of the things that Leo brings, because he loves that she's independent. I mean, especially like as a firefighter, you might think, well, he's manly man, wife barefoot, pregnant in the kitchen kind of thing or something. Yeah. But he loves it because she's independent. And I think he sees her as, if he's called away, as his job will do on the spur of the moment, that she's strong and independent and she'll be fine. Like she understands that, and he likes that about her. And he's fully supportive of her journalism, and he's right there with her, wishing she could do it as Henrietta Maxwell. Like that's her goal, is to get the byline in her name in the Enterprise, in the the
non-society paper, but
and that's one of the other things. It's like, women. There were women reporters. I kind of put that in the author's note, but it was not a common thing. And so while there were women who were making a name for themselves, most women that were writing for newspapers were doing domestic columns. They weren't getting to do the investigative pieces.
Yeah.
So this was something that, she had a desire to do, and she wanted that byline, which ends up being something that she chases and kind of forgets that they're real people behind the stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I kind of like the idea too that you do a little bit of a flip the script with the hero and heroine, because so often you have the heroine being connected with empathy and nurturing for people and trying to get the hero to, there's people behind this. And you've kind of flipped that where the guy's the one that's like, hey, let's not forget the human element to this story and how this is affecting lives and families. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So this book, The Undercover Heiress of Brockton, is book 2 in a series of books. It's coming out from Barber. Tell us a little bit about how that series is formatted.
Okay, yeah, great question. So the series is called Enduring Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And as I mentioned before, each book will look at a different man-made disaster.
Okay.
Each is penned by a different author, and each one is totally independent. So, I
Okay.
mean, I hope readers will want to read the whole series, but you can pick up any one that maybe captures your attention and not worry about like, oh, I didn't read the one before it or the one after it or something.
Right.
And some of the fun, well, I don't know if I should say fun because they're disasters, but I think they're going to be really cool stories.
Yeah.
One's going to be on the Chinatown riots in San Francisco. That was book 1, called I think it's The Angel of Second Street.
Angel of Second Street is book 1, yeah,
by
Barbara Tift Blakely.
Right, and then following mine is going to be Terry Haynes, and she's going to be looking at the a stampede at the Shiloh Baptist Convention. So that's going to be very interesting. I think interesting story. One of them is going to be on 2 ships that collide in Halifax Harbor.
Interesting.
Right. I think one is on the massacre at Wounded Knee. Yeah. So there's some really good stories that are going to come out in the series. And like if you like history and romance, I think you're going to find this series really interesting.
Yeah. Well, I love those types of stories where you learn history from something that's been fictionalized, just because, I'm not necessarily going to pick up a history book and read an entire volume on the shoe factory explosion. But I would read yours.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I know what you mean though. Like I think that's one of the funnest ways to learn history. Now, I was I've already admitted I'm a history nerd girl. My college and master's degree. I'm a history person, but so I did read all those and I wrote all those papers. But I think now I would much rather pick up a novel. And read history that way.
Yeah. No, I get it. And there's different varying depths that historical books go to as well. But I mean, an exploding shoe factory sounds very intriguing to me for some reason, just because I don't think it's something you really ever hear about, but to know that it actually happened in the United States, it's fascinating. It makes me want to pick it up and find out more about it. So.
And for me, this was the first time that the true historical event was so center stage in the story. My other books have had a historical event that sort of drove the timeline, sort of set up when I'm doing things.
Gotcha.
And it's covered in the book, but it wasn't like quite on center stage as this one. So this made me really nervous. It's also 1905, and all my other books were late 19th century, so 1880s, 1870s.
And a lot happened in that time period.
Oh yeah. So
between, it's not like they were just.
I was so nervous, and I kept going back to the book, checking everything and rechecking everything, and so hopefully the good people of Brockton won't be sending me emails telling me I got it wrong.
Well, as long as you don't put the stop sign in the wrong street or the wrong corner, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, Kelly. Well, this has been a blast. The story releases on August 8th. August 1st. August 1st?
Yeah.
Okay.
August 1st.
August 1st.
A week from today. Actually.
Yeah, it is a week from today. That's
at least
awesome.
From the day that we're recording it. I'm not sure what day this will air. But.
Yeah, I'm not sure when this is going to air either, but the book is called The Undercover Heiress of Brockton.
Here's my cheesy cover.
It's not a cheesy cover. That's a beautiful cover.
No, I meant my cheesy cover display. I love my cover.
Cheesy cover
I think
display.
it's finished.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think it's beautiful actually. And all of the series kind of has this, look to them.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. But
they're great. They're great.
My cheesy showing of
Your cheesy showing of it. There you go. That's good. Actually, I didn't think that was that cheesy either, Kelly.
Okay, good.
I'm just going to admit it was very decent. You did good.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, this has been so much fun, and hopefully the readers of Avid Christian Readers will head out and snag this book. They can get it pretty much anywhere books are sold.
Anywhere. Yep. Okay. Yep. You can get it at Amazon, Baker Books, Christian Book, wherever you like to get your books.
All that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I think you can order directly off of Barber too, can't you?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I think so. If you want to.
Definitely.
So, however it trips your trigger, go get this book because it's going to be one that you're going to want to read. So we'll just end it there. And thank you, Kelly, for being part of this podcast and putting up with the zany guest host myself, Jaime Jo Wright. And the next time there's another one of these, you will all be returned back to our normal, much more put together Tricia Goyer. But for today, poor Kelly, we give you our best.
Well, thanks. It was fun chatting with you.
Thanks, Kelly.